Welcome to the Say It Out Loud podcast. I'm your host, Vasavi Kumar. If you're eager to gain clarity, speak with unwavering confidence, and liberate those inner voices, you're in the perfect spot. My mission here is to empower you to break free, find fulfillment, and ignite your passion. You ready? It's time to say it out loud. I've put together a guide of my top 10 tested and proven to work practical strategies and habits to help bright women like you say no, set your boundaries right, live confidently, and build healthy relationships, starting with the relationship you have with yourself. This is a self-paced guide, and I can't wait for you to dig into it so you can start becoming your most confident self, because she's in there waiting for you. Head to the link in my show notes or go to vasavikumar.com/guide and grab it today.
All right, y'all, we're back with another episode of the Say It Out Loud podcast. And this week I have Cortney Lee, who is in my group program. I'm so excited to have her on here. I'm going to let her share her transformation with all of you. But what I really want, when you're listening to this, okay, and I always like to train people with how they listen, right? We're not comparing, we're not judging ourselves with another person. What you're really trying to do is see yourself in another person and really see, like, how does this relate to me? And how do I learn from this person and what they're saying? Because, like, I think it's very easy when we look at people, we put them on pedestals and we don't trust ourselves. And so I'm bringing on members of my Say It Out Loud group program because here's the thing, I can market my program all day, but it just is not as powerful as when it comes from the people who have actually gone through the program. So I am so excited to have you here, Cortney. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
All right, Cortney. So can you tell us a little bit about what you do and how you help your clients?
Yes. I'm a business and brand strategist. I do business consulting and I help people with all aspects of their business. But what I really have been enjoying is helping people to accelerate their business by way of operations, automations, and outsourcing so that they're not, a slave to their business.
So basically, if people are scattered in their business, you help bring that structure.
Yes.
Back-end system, yeah. So basically, when you have that back end tight, you make it easy for people to pay you. Let's make it easy for people to pay you.
That's right.
Yeah.
And customer experience, we know it's very important.
I love that. Thank you. What made you want to join the Say It Out Loud program? Like, what about it sparked something inside of you?
Oh my gosh. I would say first and foremost, the name alone. Like, it really called to me. I would say, just feeling like I've been hiding and muting myself is like the best description of it, I guess you could say. Kind of muting myself. I realized, like, I need to say it out loud. I'm not speaking enough. I'm not communicating enough. I just felt like all of this pressure building up inside, all of this information, knowledge, experience that I'm not sharing. And I'm like, you know what? This is probably the program for me that I need right now.
When you joined, did you think it was a business program? Like, what did you categorize this under? Because, what did you categorize this under? Like, how did you justify? Okay, so I wanted to share why I'm asking this question. I feel like women, I've done this myself. We need to, like, have a really valid reason as to why we invest in ourselves. Like, oh, this is going to help me with my business, or this is good for me. Like, we have to have a reason. And there's nothing wrong with that. But I also think, I don't market this program as a business program at all. But I do say that when you say it out loud, you say it out loud in every area. So I'm just curious for you, like, what was it about what outside of it being called the Say It Out Loud program, what spoke to you about it?
Well, I know that you are a woman in business, so I had a very strong feeling that even though it's a Say It Out Loud program and it's probably going to focus on our communication, I knew that you as a woman in business, would understand my struggles as a woman in business trying to communicate. And I'm seeing you living it out, and I'm seeing you having so much success in saying it out loud, being yourself, being authentic. And I'm like, I think I remember saying this to you in another program I was in with you, where I said, you're like my walking bucket list.
Oh,
I'm like, I'm seeing like all of these great things that you're doing. And I'm like, damn, like that calls to me, like that's me at the core, but I'm like holding back, so I knew that, yes, more than likely it's going to be a program that focuses on communication and really helping like processing those internal thoughts and like speaking out loud and getting better with public speaking, quote unquote. But I did have an inkling of a thought, like, you know what, Vasavi's a woman in business. She's going to get me. So it's going to marry the two perfectly for me, exactly what I needed.
well, I just want to say this out loud, of course, to everyone listening, and to you, Cortney. Like, when you joined the program, like I'm just going to be honest. We've talked about this. You were really, you packaged and edited your words a lot. You suppressed your own voice. And now, we're going into week 8. Can you believe that? It's been 2 months. 3 months feels like a long time for people, but that shit goes by quickly, right?
Yeah.
But I've noticed about you, I said this to you right before we hit record, you're becoming unfuckwittable. I can feel it. Like, you're just like, and I want everyone hearing this. This is not about you become bitchy and you're this and you gotta be mean. And no, Cortney, you still have the same heart. You still have the same spirit. You just are giving yourself permission to say what you want to say and want what you want without apology. That's what I notice about you. And there's a free-spiritedness in you that I see coming through. I can feel your free-spiritedness coming through. We all have it.
Yes.
We all have it.
Absolutely.
And I believe that the way we access it is by saying it out loud. That's my methodology. There are many other ways to free your spirit. But inside this program, it's not just vocal. It's not just verbal. But, for example, Alex, who I interviewed last week on the podcast, I don't know why I just winked at you, who I interviewed last week on the podcast, she's gotten to roller skating, right? And it's like we unlock all these different parts of us when we just say it out loud. So, I want everyone knowing, letting you know right now, our next round starts August 5th. We are in early bird pricing. It is $500 or 3 payments of $200. And, Alex said this to me. She goes, it is really, really affordable. And I go, I know, I did that on purpose. I don't think personal development should be hard for people to invest in. Like, if you're going to work with, like, yes, you can read the books, listen to the podcast, but I want people to be in my energy. Because I believe that my energy will change your life. So I want to make it easy-ish, right? 500 may be hard for some, and for those that it's difficult for, I offer you a payment plan. So jump on it. The link is in the show notes. And Cortney, are you ready? We're going to get into a rapid fire questioning. You don't even know the questions, right?
Yes, okay. I'm ready.
Okay. So let me ask you this. What is something that you've never been able to do? Wait, hold on. I want to just say this. The reason why I ask these specific questions is because these questions, I think a lot of us are shy to maybe answer these questions out loud. And I want my audience to hear the power of saying it out loud is you stop being so ashamed of yourself. And you don't need to always put on this front like you're perfect. So that's why I ask the questions that I ask. So anyway, I'm going to stop interrupting myself and we're going to get into it. What's something you've never been able to do well?
Okay, let's see. If I had to think of, I don't think I can say one thing. I would say going back to childhood days, first thing I would think of is math. But I was always the reading girl, English, literature, that's my jam. Everyone calls me, my husband uses me as the encyclopedia, how do you spell this? How do you spell that? And I'm just throwing it off, spelling bee girl, that was me. But math, oh my gosh, I don't like, unless it's counting money, I hated math.
Oh, I love that. Unless it's counting money, look at you, baller. Look at you, unless I'm counting my bills. Okay, love that. What's something you, wait, what? Sorry, go say that again.
Gift wrapping.
I'm
the worst gift wrapper.
Oh yeah, you can pay someone to do that. That's great. Okay. What's something you think everyone should try at least once?
That's a good one. Wow. What's something that someone should try at least once. Oh my gosh. If I had to think of something, I would say speaking on camera. Speaking
Wow.
on camera. Yeah. I'm noticing like a lot of my audience are still like just using post as their content, and I'm guilty of that as well. But once I started like speaking on camera, just that very first time, it definitely got easier. Even though I pulled back over the years, I'm still pushing myself to like continue stretching that muscle, because once I get started, it becomes easier and easier. And I know that. So
The one
on camera.
Speaking, I love, this. I share this story in my book, and for those of you, if you're not on my book waitlist, please go to vasavikumar.com/waitlist to get on the waitlist for my book, Say It Out Loud. One of the examples that I use in my book, Cortney, is I share this story. I went with my ex to a basketball game here at University of Texas, and we're sitting and in the middle of the stadium, they have the Jumbotron. They have that big television screen, right? And I observed something so interesting. Every time someone's face showed up on the Jumbotron and they noticed, oh my God, I'm okay. Everyone lit up. They were dancing. I saw this one little boy. As soon as he was like, oh my God, my face, he started lighting up and he started flailing his arms. And that like proved my theory that it's like, we all want to be seen. We all want to be seen. And like when you're caught in the moment and your initial reaction, that is the essence of who you are. That little boy, he wasn't even little, by the way. He must have been like 14, 15, whatever. He's still little. I mean, compared to me and you. But, he as soon as you saw him, he started getting all excited. And then like even, he's like this like older white dude that he got on, and he had a smile and he put his arm around his wife. And it was just like, when you're caught in that moment, I feel like that's when you see the true essence of people. But I think that's why people are afraid of getting on camera, is because they haven't fully accepted themselves, right? So getting on camera to let the world see you, of course that's terrifying. So I love that you said that.
Yes.
Yes. And then you know what? I'm actually going to put a resource in the show notes. I know I'm full of resources today. The Show Up and Shine Challenge is a free challenge that I did for any of you who want to learn to be more confident on camera. I give you prompts. It's a 5-day challenge. I'll put the link in the show notes if you need help with that as well, now that you mentioned it. So thank you, Cortney. Yes. All right. If you had to work on only one project for the next year, what would it be?
Oh, that's easy. It's always going to be communication and public speaking for me. Wow. I know the power of using your voice, especially since meeting you and working with you. And it's just what it is today, speaking on camera, speaking on even podcasts, not, outside of camera, like using our voice to transform lives through whatever it is that we do. Even if you're not a business consultant, like using our voice to transform lives. If you're a yoga teacher or spiritual, counselor or whatever, I know that there's power in all of our voices. So for me, that is like going to be my life's work, is just getting better at speaking. I want to be speaking on stages, and I want to be using my voice to teach others about like starting their own business and entrepreneurship and all of that great stuff. So I just want it to become easier and easier for me. So if I had to work on one thing, that would be it, because I know that if I have my voice, I don't need a PDF. I don't need to give out a PDF. I don't need to even have an Instagram. Like I can just show up and shine, basically.
No, and you know what? And here's the best, I'm thinking this right now. It's like, now that I know you very well, it's like you have the ability, everyone has the ability to get on stage, speak, and do all that. It's the internal gunk. It's the internal chatter. It's the beliefs. It's the narrative about why you can and why you suck and no one gives a shit what you have to say, and all those fucking voices that literally do not belong inside of you. They do not belong to you. That is the only thing getting in the way. I can absolutely see you in less than a year being on stages speaking. Small conferences, bigger conferences, media, like it's absolutely possible, but we have to get out of our own way. God is ready to give us everything that we want, but we keep trying to manage everything and control everything. And so through the process of saying it out loud, you're literally clearing up your throat. You're literally clearing up all the shit that's inside of you so that the truth can start coming out. The truth that can really help people's pain and help other people in their suffering. How can we really help other people if we are ourselves just like fully suffering? It's so much harder to be able to help someone when we ourselves are suffering. And so by the process of saying it out loud, we're clearing ourselves. And I want to just say a caveat. We still have the power to help other people even when we are suffering. I remember in my addiction, Cortney, I was still living, telling I was making six figures as a coach, but I had my own demons. But I'm even more powerful now that I've worked through those demons. You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
So we are already powerful beings even in our suffering. I mean, I'm sure you've experienced being able to help another person even if you're having a bad day, right?
Yes.
But just think about how even more unstoppable you'll be when you get rid of all that shit that's stopping you, right? So, I see that.
That's why I said that.
Yeah.
Because I know it. I know the power in it.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm so happy to be inside the Say It Out Loud program, because in such a short period of time, I truly feel like I'm finally releasing all that gunk and all that guilt and shame that just didn't belong there. And I was just overthinking everything, and tears just come to my eyes just talking about it, because I feel the change in me.
You know what? I can always tell, and it's not a competition at all, but I can always tell in a group I want to say this the right way. It's like, who's gonna transform quick, and not just quickly, but who's hungry for it? Who's really you were one of them, because even the minute we got into the group calls, even in our Voxer community chat, you were the first one Voxering. You kept going. You didn't give a fuck that you sent 7 Voxers in a row, each of them 5 minutes each. Sometimes, no, I'm just kidding. They were not always, but I was like, good, get it out, Cortney, get it out. And so many people were like, oh, I'm ranting. I'm like, stop saying that stuff. Stop saying you're ranting. Stop saying you're talking too much. Just fucking stop. Stop censoring yourself. Nobody's doing that but you. So I'm just really proud of you, because you really did start saying it out loud. Like you really took it to heart, and I'm proud of you, because this group isn't what it is not what it is, or could not have been what it is without every single one of you saying it out loud. And I just really appreciate you being in the group.
Yes. Thank you.
Of course. And one last question. When you have 30 minutes of free time, how do you pass the time?
Well, having 3 little kiddos that take up pretty much all my time.
Yeah.
I hate to say working on my business, but and I know that it's supposed to be free time, self-care, and all that good stuff. But whenever I have a minute, I'm working on my business, because I know that my children, demand most of my time. So, that's where most of my time goes. So if I have a free moment, like, I'm working on my business, working on creating content, and things like that. So, yeah. And if I had to think of something like self-care wise, I would say like, listening to music, singing around the house, just like, getting realigned.
I love that. Yeah, you work on stuff that you love, or you're just enjoying yourself, using your voice in another way. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay, now we're going to get into our say it out loud questions. Okay, so you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Of course you are. You were born ready. Okay, when did you learn that it was safer to lie than it was to say things out loud?
Let's take a quick break.
Having been in therapy since the age of 12, I know firsthand just how powerful the process of finding the right therapist is. Going to therapy and talking things out with my therapist has made me happier, clearer, and most importantly, I have a plan for my mental health. I have tools to be able to communicate with others, and also the tools to cope when life gets hard, which it does. So let me ask you a question. Is something interfering with your happiness or preventing you from achieving your goals? Regardless if you have a clinical mental health issue like depression or anxiety, or if you're just a human who lives in this world who is going through a hard time, Therapy can give you tools to approach your life in a very different way. And that's why I'm excited to tell you about today's sponsor, BetterHelp. BetterHelp's mission is to make therapy more affordable and more accessible. And this is an important mission because finding a therapist can be really hard, especially when you're limited to the options in your area. BetterHelp is a platform that makes finding a therapist easier because it's online, it's remote, and by filling out a few questions, BetterHelp can match you to a professional therapist in as little as a few days. It's easy to sign up and get matched with the therapist. There's a link in my description. It's BetterHelp, HELP.com/Vasavi. That's BetterHelp.com/Vasavi. Clicking that link helps support this podcast, but it also gets you 10% off your first month of BetterHelp, so you can connect with the therapist and see if it helps you. And because finding a therapist is a little like dating, if you don't really fit with that therapist, which is a common thing with therapy, you can easily switch to a new therapist at no additional cost without stressing out about insurance, who's in your network, or anything like that. I don't know where I would be without the help of therapy and my therapist, but I do know that life would feel that much harder. So if you're struggling, consider online therapy with BetterHelp. Click the link in the description or visit betterhelp.com/Vasavi. Thank you again, BetterHelp, for supporting this podcast.
That's a really good question. I would say like when I was a little girl and maybe I said a little bit too much about, something that was happening inside the household or something like that. Nothing crazy, but, just kid chatter. I notice my kids do it too. And, when you're a child and you're like, a chatterbox and talking to strangers or extended family and things like that, and things come out, of course, your parent is like, okay, all right, let's calm it down. Not a great idea to say that. So I would have to say I'm always reverse engineering and thinking about those childhood experiences because I know, how connected they are to our adult experiences. So, I would say, back in the day when I was a little chatterbox, which I'm getting back to and I'm proud of.
Good.
Just saying a little bit too much in front of, others, and mom, is like, all right, business stays, our family business stays in our family.
Yeah. And I loved how you said you made that connection about, how we are as adults. It goes back to childhood. And I'm glad that you see that connection. My father always used to say, we're all just, young little kids in adult bodies. It's still what did he say? He goes, it's not the man that controls the boy. It's the boy that controls the man. Saying inside every man, there is a little boy controlling him. My dad used to say that about himself. It makes me think about my father. I don't want to start thinking about my father, then I start crying. But he always used to say that, and it makes total sense. It's like, and that's why sometimes, one of the questions that I ask myself if I'm like in a mood or if I'm feeling some sort of way, I always ask myself, how old am I right now? And I don't say that in a condescending way, but it's like, ooh, how old is this wound? How old was I? And it's usually like, man, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then when it comes to friendships, I have really good friendships now, Cortney. I had to work through a lot of my, 13 through 18 years old, all the high school bullshit drama. And it's like work through that with my friends. Like, it's great. But it's like you get to see, you get to literally heal each age that still lives inside of you.
Yes.
And when I entering my 40s, I had a lot of my late 20s and mid 30s that I had to heal because I was growing up. I mean, literally growing up, but I still had some remaining stuff. And I was like, ooh, it was my late 20s. I could tell it was like late 20s. So it was good. It's like, it's fun. And so I appreciate you saying that because I don't think people like to admit that. It's painful.
I know. And you know what? I almost self-edited. And then I said, nope, I'm not doing it. It is what it is. It is what it is. That's my story. Sorry, mom. But I'm a mom now, and I understand where she was coming from, with that, because not everyone has great intentions. Not everyone deserves all of that information. And I'm learning that myself as an adult.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff when you start to make peace within yourself, you can really start to forgive the people in your life. Like, I no longer hold my mom emotionally hostage anymore. I think I shared this on a few episodes ago. I said I healed my relationship with my mother. I've never said those words out loud because that was never my truth. I've healed my relationship with my mom. When I talk to my mother, I give her nothing but love and encouragement. In fact, oh, Cortney, it was so beautiful. She loves to sing. My mother's an Indian classical singer. Yeah, and yeah, she sang on stage a few days ago, and I texted her at night. I go, "How did it go?" And she texted me back, "I'm just getting started." And it brought tears to my eyes because it's like I got to support her in that moment. It was just beautiful. And yeah, she's 70, but I'm like, you'll live till 90. Just keep singing. She's good.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah,
Oh, that's so
absolutely.
beautiful.
So, it is beautiful. It is. And that's really the power of saying it out loud. Okay. So next question. What is something, this is a good one. What is something that you've been wanting to say out loud, but you haven't? And this would be your first time saying it.
Okay.
No pressure.
Because I am working on self-confidence, self-worth, building up, building myself back up. I would say, Cortney, you are that bitch. You are that bitch. You are amazing. You have so much to offer. You have so much to give, and you can help in so many different ways. And it's time for you to start owning it. That's it.
Okay. First of all, you are that bitch. Let's just take a moment of silence because you are that bitch. Let that soak in.
Yes.
And you listening right now, if I'm in your earbuds, you are that bitch too. And I'm so proud of you that that's the direction that you went in. Because when I asked this question to Alex, I positioned this question like, listen, say something, own something about yourself. And I didn't even have to I did that with her because that was my first time asking that question with her. And then I thought with you, you know what? Let it be organic. I don't want to tell you what to say. And you went that same direction where you owned something and you celebrated. And I'm so glad that you went that route. And you are that bitch. You are that bitch. Yeah.
Thank you, boss. Thank
Yes.
you. And you are that bitch for helping me to realize that I am that bitch.
Listen, can I tell you what I love about this group? I was saying this to Alex. I really, and for those of you, I keep mentioning Alex. Alex was the podcast right before this. She's another member of the Say It Out Loud group program. Every single one of the people, members that I'm interviewing will bring something fresh for you to think about for yourself. So please make sure and go back and listen to that. I was saying to Alex, what I love inside of our group is that, yes, even though I started this group and even though I'm the leader of this group, the way that I lead is very much like I share my shit with you guys too. I share my own internal chatter and I share how I work through it. And I show you that, yes, I have this thought process and here's how I'm working through it, and boom, like it can be that quick. You do not have to stay stuck. You do not have to. You don't.
Absolutely. You're so right. And you're always challenging those limiting beliefs and thoughts that we're pretty much vomiting out inside the program.
You're just verbally jizzing all over me here.
Yes, there we go.
Oh my God. I'm so fucking vile. Literally, my mom would like die right now if she saw that I just did that. If you want to know what I just did, watch the video version of this. Okay. Anyway, thank you for saying that. Yeah. All right. Next question. What is the catchphrase lately that you've been saying out loud? Is there like a certain something you've been saying out loud lately that's been kind of like your mantra?
Oh yeah.
What is it?
Unfuckwithable and unbothered. Unbothered and unfuckwithable.
Dude, that's literally the name of my book. I love it.
Oh my God.
And I get that.
Before the Say It Out Loud program wouldn't have dared said that out loud,
Yeah,
and it feels so good to say, like, yeah, okay, I'm unfuckwithable.
Yeah. And you know what the greatest relief is? The only person that can fuck with me is myself.
Yes.
That's it.
You taught us that.
Yeah. And I refuse. I mean, so I'm very, like, I was sharing this with my girlfriend yesterday. We took like an evening dip in her pool. And I said, I don't have a single person in my life who doesn't value and respect me.
Yes.
I don't have anyone in my life. Even my own parents, they don't get to me anymore. They don't bother me anymore. So like, and they value me, they respect me, and I also don't go seeking that. But like, I love that you said that about being unfuckwithable and unbothered. It doesn't mean that you don't care about things. It just means that, well, actually, let me ask you this. What does it mean for you to be unfuckwithable and unbothered? What does that mean for you?
Oh my goodness. I would say it just means no matter what's happening in my life and my business with, just on a day-to-day basis or a moment-to-moment basis, like I know it's going to be figured out. I know myself. I love myself. I trust myself. That's another thing I've been saying out loud. I think I remember hearing you say that maybe in one of your meditations when I was in your previous program or something, but that really resonated with me. And I'm constantly saying that. And I'm like, you know what? Like, no matter what goes down, no matter what happens, like it's going to get figured out. So therefore, if I'm going to go through, this thing called life, I'm going to do it happy and feeling good, because the outcome is going to be the outcome, whether I'm feeling good or whether I'm stressing myself out or whether I'm overthinking. So why not just do it feeling good and happy and, optimistically and all of that good stuff.
I'm proud of you. That's exactly right. I mean, everyone has their version of what that means for them. So that's why I always want to hear, like, what does that mean for you? Because somebody listening might be like, oh, yeah, I want that for me. Yes. And if you feel that way, then, join the program. Join the Say It Out Loud program. Okay, what is something that you want to encourage our audience to say more of out loud?
I know myself. I love myself. I trust myself. I feel like that really wraps it all up. Just having that unwavering trust and faith in yourself, and faith in, your higher power, and your higher power, you being a vessel for your higher power, just reminding yourself of that and just like doing the damn thing, no matter how you feel,
I do know. That was beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. What is the most badass thing that you were most proud of saying out loud recently?
What I just said.
About being unfuckwithable? Oh, that you are that bitch? Good. Yes. Good.
Because that could easily be taken as arrogance, and Cortney before the Say It Out Loud program wouldn't have said it, because I would have been worried about someone thinking that it's arrogant and cocky. And because I know myself, I love myself, and I trust myself, I'm like, hey, it lands how it lands for you. That's a you problem. I know that I'm not arrogant. I know that I'm not cocky. You're always challenging us to, think about, what is the actual truth? And the actual truth is I'm not cocky. I'm not arrogant. But I can still say that I'm that bitch.
You can. And I was saying, so when I asked Alex this, she was saying, I am really good at what I do. Like, that's what she said. Like, she was really feeling herself. And I said to her, I'm like, yes, because here's how I look at it as like a potential client, or if I want to hire somebody. If you're not into yourself, and when I say into yourself, if you're not feeling your vibe, if you're not feeling your energy, why the fuck would I want to be around you? I want to be around people who love being around themselves.
Yes.
Right? If you don't even want to be around you and you have nothing nice to say about you, give me one good reason why I should hang out with you.
Yes.
Exactly. Or in your business.
It's all energy.
Yeah. Or in your business. If you're like, oh, I'm kind of like, no, I'm the best. I'm the best at what I do. Yes. Or whatever version that looks like for you. Or I'm the best for this type of client. Right? Whatever version. So I'm proud of you also for saying that. Okay. Last question here. We have 2 questions left, actually. What do you say out loud to yourself when you look in the mirror these days?
I just did this today when I was, I felt nerves coming up about the podcast and things like that. And as soon as I looked in the mirror and said it to myself, like the nerves literally just went away. It's like, I wish I could remember exactly what it was. But for the most part, I'm just like, you've got this. I say that a lot, like, you've got this.
Yeah. Here's the thing. We get to choose our thoughts. You can either say to yourself, this is going to suck, I'm going to suck, or you can say, you got this. Pick which one feels good. And I'm really happy for you that you chose the one that says you got this. How are you feeling so far throughout this interview?
Oh my goodness. I am like surprisingly excited that I'm this calm. And it makes me feel so good because you know that I've been working on like getting more visible and doing more podcast interviews and getting myself out there. And this really feels like it's going to be that step that pushes me forward because I'm looking at myself like, yeah, you do got this.
Good. I'm glad that you trust yourself. That's what this is all about. You know, I always just like, I want anyone in my presence to feel that they can be themselves. And I mean, at least as far as you and I are concerned, I'm not judging your every word. I'm not thinking she could say that. I mean, listen, I trust that whatever comes out of your mouth is the truth, right? So, and it's real for you. And like, I just want this experience, you know, for you to feel free in your skin and feel comfortable. And also one of the perks, by the way, little shameless plug. I mean, this whole podcast is a shameless plug. Let's be real. What I will say is anyone who comes into my program will be on the podcast if they choose. Not everyone's going to be on the podcast from the program if they don't want to be. But I want that. I want, you know, Cortney, I want to share this with you. Do you know I once had a vision? This was at the beginning of the year when I knew I got the book deal. I changed the name of my podcast to Say It Out Loud Podcast. And I had a vision of like, man, I don't just like want to always interview my guests who have tons of followers and all that. Like I can do that. I have plenty of friends with big names, all that stuff. That's great. I go, but I want to invite the people that I work with because like, y'all are like in the trenches doing this work, you know, like this is what Saying It Out Loud is. Like you go from being in a group to being on this podcast and having thousands of people hear your voice. You know, how many ever people download a podcast per week? You know, I forgot what number we're at now, but it's really good. And I'm happy with the numbers, but that's not even about it. It's like, it's such a huge deal, right? You go from joining a program called Say It Out Loud, learning to use your voice. And here I am asking you these questions, which you didn't know what I'm asking you ahead of time, unless you maybe heard previous episodes, but this is the power of showing up and speaking your truth. Now you're feeling calm on a podcast.
Yes.
You're not nervous. You're not wondering.
Program that would not be.
Thank you, Cortney. I appreciate that so much.
If you love today's episode, then say it out loud. Subscribe, leave a review, and come say hi over on Instagram at My Name is Vasavi. Until next time, say it out loud.